Hey everybody, that red wave, right? Was it really a red wave, or was it more of like a red kind of like mist, right? What happened? Well, let's talk about that. Here's Treasure Valley Dave.
Treasure Valley Aaron, wow, what's going on?
Well, I was just talking to everybody, that red wave that was supposed to happen last night. I don't know, it didn't feel like it happened.
No, it seems like more it was like a puddle than a tsunami.
Puddle or a trickle? I don't know.
Wow. So what does all this mean for our people? So you've been thinking about this for quite some time. I just rolled into the office. Aaron's been here a couple hours, and he's been thinking about this. So what are your thoughts?
Well, really, my thoughts kind of started last night. I was checking the results every now and then. Just kind of the polls, seeing what was happening, who was winning, who was losing. And people were talking about how it was supposed to be this huge overhaul of Republicans. We've got these bad gas prices, these bad policies, and it just wasn't that way. And then I started thinking about, Idaho. I saw Idaho come up, and it was a Republican versus a Republican.
Right.
And that's kind of the way it's always been. And it feels like that's the way it might always be here.
I got to tell you, your observations are pretty spot on. It has always been much more conservative because, not that we don't have politicians that would love to be Democrats up here, but we have so many people that are, the voters that live a conservative lifestyle. So the politicians are really kind of they have to be pinned in to appease us, conservative types, because otherwise they're going to be out on their bum.
Right, and Brad Little was not out on his bum. Right. And some patriots were upset about that. Right. And, things maybe in Idaho could be a little better, but then you think about some of the things that Brad Little has done, like, the open carry. You don't have to have a permit or a license to do that. I'm not saying that he did that. That's a right that we're given, through the Constitution, but he's not a barrier to that happening. We still have lots of freedoms here in Idaho.
Right.
And so he's not this totalitarian dictator that's trying to make Idaho like California.
Well, and especially when you compare Idaho and our leadership to some of these other places. So Arizona, it looks like that's going purple. Either all the liberals from LA moved to Arizona and it's going to turn into Colorado, or they're just better at cheating, or whatever the thing is. And then look at California. You've got Newsom in there, and until he becomes president, right? And all the things about that. So,
going back to Arizona, Carrie Lake had something to say on that, and we'll just roll a clip.
This morning, and within minutes of the polls opening up, I started getting people calling, voters in tears, calling my personal number, saying, "What's going on? The tabulators aren't working." This is not normal stuff. We don't have to have elections run this way. We switched from a Republican area to vote. We came right down into the heart of liberal Phoenix to vote because we wanted to make sure that we had good machines. And guess what? They've had zero problems with their machines today. So we were right to come and vote in the liberal area. They gotta fix this problem. This is incompetency. I hope it's not malice, but we're gonna fix it. We're gonna win. And when we win, there's gonna be come to Jesus for elections in Arizona. There's gonna be a come to Jesus.
People were very hopeful that things were going to be different, maybe in their state.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like it's panning out that way. And then you have Gavin Newsom, right, who's saying California is the most free state, that they embrace all of this freedom.
He said that about Florida, didn't he?
No.
Oh, well, he was like poking Florida in the eye and said, if you want to be free, he's telling Floridians this, come to California.
Right.
It's Independence Day, so let's talk about what's going on in America. Freedom, it's under attack in your state. Your Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors.
The ad goes on to encourage Florida residents to, quote, join the fight for freedom or move to California.
Wonder how the people in Florida think about that this morning.
If I could flip the bird, I would.
I'm pretty sure they're happy to still be in Florida.
Well, obviously Florida felt great about DeSantis because he was reinstated as governor.
There you go.
So that there is,
Which kind of brings us back to Idaho in a way, or that freedom mentality. Yeah, the people in Florida, they've always gone kind of, you don't know exactly. For instance, like there's this one area in Florida that went with Hillary last time by 30 points. And this time it went strongly with freedom. So it's like, I don't know, maybe there's people in more conservative Californians moved to Florida and made it a much more conservative place, just like what they've been doing up here in Idaho. So kind of like you have a choice. It's like, if you like humidity and great weather and nice beaches, it might not be Idaho, but if you like no humidity, great weather, and no beaches, well, then Idaho might be the place for you.
But isn't that true on the other hand, too, that the patriots that were once in California, they're gone? Isn't California just becoming more and more liberal?
As all the good people leave.
Right. And so people that are hanging out there thinking things are going to change, that's not the case. They're coming to places, bastions of freedom like Idaho, Florida. They may even be moving to the Midwest. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about Texas for a minute. I mean, sure, Beto didn't make it, but it was so close that it makes me think, I mean, in a proper state like that, it shouldn't even be an issue. But Beto is like really close. So it makes you want to think that, is Texas going to be the next state to turn blue or purple or whatever color you want? And coming back to thinking about your future and real estate and things like that, it's like, if you're going to go pick a place that today is somewhat marginally conservative, do you want to like move there, all your money, your life, invest in your community there, only to have it turn purple, another election cycle or two down the road, just like Colorado? So Idaho, I don't see that happening because it's becoming more and more conservative. Right. What do you think?
I think Idaho is one of the places that's going to be long-lasting red.
Right.
Arizona's gone purple at least. Florida is red. But Texas, it's even in the presidential election, it was close.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America. Made in America.
Yeah.
It was very close to flipping, but Idaho, nowhere even near flipping.
So it's like, we can't say the entire country, but, when the stuff hits the fan, I want to be in Idaho.
Yep.
And, if you're thinking that it might be someplace you want to check out, give us a call, text, email. We'd be glad to help you with that. Go to our website. We got some great resources there. Go to the resources tab. It's all for you. It's all for free. And gosh, we have many more videos on exactly what it's like to live here in the Treasure Valley, like little community that we walk through, or just kind of what the market's doing and things like that. And we're always coming out with more. So make sure you subscribe to this video. Like it. That really helps us, and it helps the algorithm to like us. And we like to be liked. Gosh, what else can you think of?
I just want to say that, and I said this in the last video that I was in, if you had a repeat of 2020 through 2021 with the pandemic, that election year that just happened to have a pandemic, if it was to repeat, I would much rather be in a place of freedom like Idaho. I visited California during that time. I was a resident of Idaho, and I could not wait to get back to Idaho, a free state.
Nice. Well, and we have a sentiment for you guys. This is Treasure Valley Dave and Treasure Valley Aaron. Looking forward to helping you get home.